Glory to the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. Today I would like to speak on the topic of the ships of Tarshish. A lot of individuals are teaching that these so-called ships are unidentified flying objects or identified flying objects, UFOs and IFOs. Well, when we look into the scriptures, we will see that these are actually boats or ships that were used in biblical days, and and also Tarshish was, a port or of a sort that people would uh, trade, go back and forth to do trades, and I'm going to prove this just by reading the scriptures in chronological order, starting with Second Chronicles, the ninth chapter, 21st verse, and Second Chronicles, the 20th chapter, the 36th verse, and it reads. For the king's ships went to Tarshish with the service of Hiram. Every 3 years once came the ships of Tarshish bringing gold and silver, ivory, and apes and peacocks. So here you have these ships, as I stated, and this gives you the specific time frame that they would go back and forth bringing, the gold, the silver, ivory, and the animals, the beasts. And he joined himself with him to make ships to go to Tarshish, and they made ships in Ezanaburger. So once again, this clarifies that these were actually ships that went across the sea, and I'm going to continue to prove this. Now let's move to Jonah, and it reads, Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, the great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee into Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa. And he found a ship to go to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it to go into Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. So we know Jonah was running from the Lord, and he found a ship, and he paid a fare to get on the ship and go to Tarshish uh, to run from the Lord. So once again, this clarifies that this is an actual uh, ship that Jonah got on. But the Lord sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. So this gives you even more understanding that this is an actual ship. It's out on the sea, and it's mobile. Then the mariners were afraid, and cried unto every man unto his God, and cast forth their wares that were in the ships into the sea, to lighten it of them. But Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep. Once again, it's just reiterating that was an actual ship that was out on the sea. Now let's move to Isaiah chapter 66, verse 19, and it states, And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Havan, to the isles, to Yavan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. Okay, once again, the Lord is stating that He will send those that escape to these places, and that's it. And like I stated, we know that Tarshish was a city that people would go back and forth to trade, exports and imports. And this is what the Lord stating that first He's going to send a sign, and He's going to send the nations to these particular places. This does not say you're going to be beamed up or you're going to be taken somewhere in a UFO, okay, or IFO. Now let's move to the last book I want to discuss concerning this matter, which is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, starting at the 11th verse. This is making reference to Tarshish as well. When the children of Israel will return to the land, I'm just going to read the verses that are relevant to what I'm discussing. It states, Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish with all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? See, it tells you right then and there the merchants of Tarshish came. So these are people that deal with imports and exports uh, in regards to as uh, ships being uh, goods being transported on ships. This lets you know that these are actually ships. So, and this is when the children of Israel returned back to the land. These are actual ships and not UFOs that will uh, aid in the transportation of the children of Israel returning back to the land. But before that, uh, when he returns the children of Israel back to these places, the first thing he's going to do is set a sign so they will know when to escape. Those who have an ear, let them hear what the Spirit is saying.